Crystal Basin Vineyards?
Crystal Basin Cellars.
Cellars. What's the difference between, what's a cellar? That's like where you put it all?
Cellars where you make the wine.
Oh, okay.
Vineyards where you grow the grapes.
Where do you store it?
We store it in the cellars.
Okay, I was like, it's a bit of a storage deal. Man, so 30 years you've been doing this?
This is my 30th harvest. So I started under the house, bootlegging.
Nice.
And made, first time we did 3 barrels of wine, and of which 1 was good.
Is that right?
Yeah, and we found out that the red wines was much better than chasing white Zin at that way back when.
Yeah. So, you guys are right there. What is the area, Trey? I know where you are, right? That chevron in that zone.
Apple Hill is what everybody calls it. The
Uh-huh.
town of Camino, and we're about 5 miles out of Placerville.
And then you gathered the grapes all out of El Dorado County, but a big area around you. You pick and choose, I imagine.
Yeah, there's 2,600 acres of grapes within El Dorado County.
Wow.
And we use 18 different vineyards and crush about 150 tons of grapes a year.
Jeez.
And that means that we get pretty purple.
How many people is it? How many people for an operation like this?
I have 2 full-time production guys and a part-time. We call him the kid. And then every once in a while I'll jump on the forklift if I have to.
And then you're selling the wine right out of there.
Yeah, we have 2,200 wine club members, and so we get regular visits from a lot of people, and they bring a lot of people in from different parts of the U.S. and a good amount of foreign folks too. Kind of the same mix that the Tahoe visitors have.
Yeah, I'm sure coming up from there. So you brought 3 different wines, all with gold medals.
That's right. These wines that I brought today, just as kind of a show-off opportunity. All of the wines I brought won 2 different gold medals over this last summer. We enter 5 competitions a year, and that's our external quality check. You can always be overly impressed by your product, and you need external input. So the Sangiovese won 2 golds. There's a Triumphant as our Bordeaux blend that won 2 golds as well, and then the Campione as a Super Tuscan, which has got Sangio in it. That won Best of Class of Region at the State Fair, which is best Sangio blend of the foothills.
You gotta be proud of that. I mean, like you said, I know you love it, but now you find out other people love it too. You're winning awards. How much did it affect with the drought, and then even we had that heat spike? How much does that affect grapes and the wine?
Well, the drought found the grapes to be struggling, and the grapes were stressed just like the population was during the last part of the drought. And last October, when it started raining and even snowing up here, that was the end of the drought. And what that did, put a bunch of water into the soil. It made all the fertilizer soluble and all the minerals, then went down to the roots of the plants. So this year, the plants were really happy. They were growing a lot of leaves and a lot of canopy. We call it canopy, to get the strength back.
I told you it was called canopy, Mike. I told you. We had a big argument. You owe me $1.
$1. But they recovered really nicely. The vineyards have grown really well this year. The heat spike did the same thing it did to people. It kind of shriveled them up, and everybody, the vines kind of shrunk their energy down. Got cool. And then what's happened is that the nice tepid weather we've had lately has been perfect for grapes.
Yeah.
We've picked about 60% of our grapes, which means in this cool weather late in the season, we're still getting really high quality fruit in. So we're excited about this harvest.
I'm gonna ask a dumb question. Can you eat those grapes you use for wine, or they just? I mean, what does it taste like?
They're good. They have a lot of seeds in them though. So what you're used to buying at Safeway or wherever you're buying them, those are they're kind of modified. I don't know that they're GMO, but they're bred to not have seeds and to be very large, and they come in at about 18% sugar. The grapes that we're using are 25 to 26% sugar, a lot sweeter. And so if you taste the grape juice right after we crush it, it's incredibly sweet.
Like regular grape juice, you'd get like
far more.
Far more.
Far more. Yeah, it's about almost twice as sweet as Welch's.
Okay. And what happens to the seeds? Is there something that gets the seeds out of the process?
Yeah, after the fermentation's done, which is adding yeast, and kind of like bread when you mush it around and you knead the bread.
This is good because I don't know the process.
I should come down and see it.
Yeah.
The seeds are all the must, which is the crushed up grapes, are put into a press, squeezed really hard. The liquid goes on away and into the barrels, and then all of the leftover stuff goes to cattle feed.
Ah, nice.
Or biomass. So none of it gets thrown out.
That's incredible, man. And how old are these vines that we're growing the grapes on?
There's a range. We're getting some kind of test grapes, if you will, from a 4-year-old vineyard all the way up to a 45-year-old vineyard.
Wow.
And then we're also, this year, for the first time, we're getting grapes from the Herbert Vineyard, which was the first vineyard planted in El Dorado County after Prohibition.
Wow.
Those are about 55 years
so
old.
like the 30s then.
Well, post-Prohibition, they were planted in the late 60s.
Okay.
Because all the grapes were taken out in El Dorado County because there was no wine industry.
Oh my God, that's awesome. And then I know where you're at, but tell people, like, how do you describe where you are on Highway 50?
So we're 5 miles out of Placerville. We're almost exactly between South Tahoe and Sacramento.
Yeah.
And we're face on the freeway. So if you drive by too many times, we can throw wine corks at you. I won't throw
We're
wine
over
bottles.
here.
Yeah. But yeah, we have front-facing the freeway right behind the Chevron station in Camino.
And you made the drive up this morning?
I came over from Carson. I did an event over there, and we have a Northern Nevada distributor. So we like to work the Reno market because our area is their backyard wine area.
Yeah. I was going to ask you how was the traffic coming that way from Carson?
Nothing at all.
No road construction.
Just some cement mixers.
All right, Mike. Hey, good to see you in here.
My pleasure.
Congrats
Thanks for
on all
having
those
me.
gold medals right there in front of you.
Yeah, we're going to do it again.
I hope so. We'll take a break, and when we come back, your 7-day Lake Tahoe forecast is up next.